Hi, welcome to another one of Mrs. Rodriguez's mini lesson videos. Today we're looking at combining like terms. So, like terms are terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. All right, so what exactly does that mean? Well, here we have an example. We have a bunch of different terms, okay? The same variable means if it has an x, like this 3x, a like term would be another term that also has an x, which, if you'll notice, 7x also has an x. Now, when it says raised to the same power, what that means is this 3x here cannot be combined with the 5x because the 5x is actually 5x squared. So that is to the second power. Whereas 3x, the x is not to the second power, so they are not like terms. They have to have the same power on the variable, and they have to have the same variable. So think of it like x's go with x's, y's go with y's, x squares go with x squares, and regular numbers go with regular numbers. A real good visual to see what goes with what is you can make little shapes around the ones that are the same. So I'm going to put x's around all the terms that have just an x. Oops. And you're going to include the sign in front of it. Okay, so that plus 7x means that's a positive 7x. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our y's because we have 9y next. We have a y here. We have a minus 6y there and no more y's. Okay. Now the next one's a 5x squared, so we have 1x squared there, and another term with an x squared would be the 2x squared at the very end. And then last but not least, we have our just regular integers. We have plus 1 and plus 3. Now that we have color-coded and we know which ones go with what, we can write our final answer. So, let's take a look at the first one. We have 3x, and we said that went with the plus 7x. So 3 plus 7 is 10, so we have 10x. That gets rid of this one and this one. Next up was the plus 9y, and that went with the minus 6y. So 9y minus 6y is 3y. Next up, we have the 5x squared plus 2x squared. 5 plus 2 is 7, so we get 7x squared. And those two get canceled out. And last but not least, we have our two regular numbers, 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, so I go ahead and write 4. Notice now that each term has a different variable or a same variable to a different power. None of the terms that are left are alike. 10x doesn't have any other numbers next to it with just an x. 3y doesn't have any other numbers next to it or by it with just a y. 7x squared is the only 7x, or the only number that has an x squared, and 4 is the only regular number listed. Now, last but not least, we do want to put them in proper order. X's always come before y's, and higher powers come first. So this should be written as 7x squared because it has the highest power, plus 10x because 10 comes, or x comes before y, so the next one would be 3y, and then we always list the regular numbers at the end. So here's our final answer, 7x squared plus 10x plus 3y plus 4. Hope that helped.